Self-Care Sunday, and every Sunday I do put out a video to help prepare your energy for the week ahead. My particular goal with my channel is to make you aware of energy that's out there, but let you know that you have a choice as to what to tune into. So we have this week a new moon that is going to be in Leo. That's going to be on the 18th. And the thing about this new moon, and a lot of the talking points about this week are going to be around this new moon that we have, astrology wise. And we will do a pick a card reading in a second. You can choose from 1 to 3 piles and just see what you kind of vibe with. This new moon that is going to be in Leo and 26 degrees is going to be in the same degree as Saturn in Capricorn, which is currently in retrograde, in the same degree, like I said, 26 degrees in a quincunx. So I'm going to describe what I have observed a quincunx to be. So if you read a book on astrology, it says it's a soft aspect. I disagree. I disagree wholeheartedly, because I have observed for more than 20 plus years quincunxes. And one thing that I know about a quincunx is that it is an intense energy to be subjected to feel. And it is, to me, not soft. When I see a quincunx, I pay attention. A quincunx is a shove, no choice. It is not a square, which is like, well, I guess I would say that a quincunx is more of a push. Like, you're gonna go that direction, no matter if you want to or not. It doesn't matter how much you resist a quincunx, it happens. A square is more of a shove, you know, and that resistance creates momentum for you to want to either resist it or to push back or to move forward or to move in that direction. In opposition, that to me is the feeling of, it's just enough opposition. It's more of a gentle coaxing in the direction that you should be going in. So those are the way that I define it. I don't care however many books you read. I've been observing astrology for more than 20, I would say close to 25 years at this point. And I've always been in fields where I deal with large groups of people. And I've always sat back and just knew astrology and observed it. And when we get to a quincunx, it's an intense feeling to feel. And so when we have this new moon in Leo, now let's talk a little bit about Leo energy. And I'm just going to shuffle a little bit because that's kind of therapeutic for me, and I connect to my babies that way, my tarot decks. So a new moon in Leo is a fire-based energy. It also tends to fixate, right? And so it is very, it's all heart, very, very passionate energy, very passionate. And it is, you really feel zeroed in and centered in on something in your life. Your world is revolving around. And so this is a central feeling. It's a soul-based feeling. It's a very self-oriented feeling. And it is very triggering if it's negative, because this could bring up a lot of childhood issues, because Leo actually represents childhood, right? And so it could be triggering that little inner child of yours, but it also could just have a lot to do with children, or the children in your house, the children in your life. But it has Leo's in charge of other things. It's in charge of creativity, procreation, pleasure, romance, and risks that you take. It's a masculine energy. It's very, very, very action-oriented energy, dramatic. It's either hot, warm, you know, think of it like this. A contained fire is warm and comforting, but a fire that's out of control is a blaze and it's destructive. So that gives you some idea, and think about this, about the sun because the sun rules Leo. So the sun it's life-giving, it's life-bearing. That's why it's creative, right? It's also rules procreation. And it's very pleasurable when, I don't know if you've ever had a good vitamin D fix, but you just feel good afterwards. After you sit out in the sun a little bit, you feel optimistic and you feel like really good about life. So this new moon is new beginnings. It's the bringing forth of something. It's the birth of something. It's the beginning of something. So in Leo, this has something to do with something that's very important to you, right? And it has something to do with something that, like I said, your world revolves around. In quincunx with Saturn, which is in Capricorn, currently in retrograde. So we have this action-oriented, moving forward energy, and then we have Saturn and Capricorn energy, which is technically, if it's in a negative aspect, it is a resistance. It's a block. It's a hesitation. It's an obstacle. And this is tough. This is tough because all of you wants to move forward, but some of you are powerless to do so. That could be some of what you guys are feeling this week. But some of you may be feeling this week is just the abuse of utter power. Somebody has power over a choice that you're making to move forward, and you can't move forward without this particular thing, but yet there's a resistance, a hesitation to giving it to you. This can be very frustrating for you because, you know, it's very activating. This is a very activating week. And we have a lot to go through, and so I'm going to try to keep these astrology readings short, but when you see weeks like this, you kind of have to talk about them a little bit more than you would want to. So Mercury is the mind. It's your immediate environment. It's everything that you react to on a daily basis. It's your day-to-day life, but it's also the way that you mentally process your day-to-day life. It's also the way that you interpret your day-to-day life. And so it's, you know, it's conjunct with this new moon that's in this very difficult aspect with Saturn. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about the ego that comes into play when we are dealing with a tough aspect. Egos clash in energy like this. Power and control issues clash. Both people have their sides. They're not yielding, and it's just the way it is. And this is ego versus ego in this type of energy. So if you are to get into a confrontation, if you are to try to talk about something, Mercury ruled communication. So if you try to talk about something, you are going to find it to be a very difficult conversation for some of you. If it's a subject that is very hard to talk about, or you know that this is going to be a difficult conversation for the person that you are talking to, be prepared for a clash, an utter clash, because people are going to have their own sides to the story. They're going to have their own interpretations, and they're going to feel like you're taking away their power to make a choice. Having said that, it's tough. It's tough because of the degree that it's in particular. You know, when we have maybe a degree that's in a lower degree in a quincunx, and then we have a degree that's in a higher degree, sometimes it can elevate our thinking, or it can simplify our thinking. When we have degrees that are in exact degrees, that is mean no budging, no moving, nothing is going to happen. It doesn't matter how many talks happen, nobody's going to see eye to eye on this particular subject. Tough thing about this energy is, as we've talked about with Leo, Capricorn energy is just awful because it has to deal with the rules, the regulations, the laws that govern us. It has to do with our government, our politics. It has to do with karmic lessons, karmic relationships. It has to do with growing up, facing the music. It has to do with being brought forth to somebody of authority, and for you to be judged, and for you to be reprimanded accordingly. Saturn is the task master. And so this little puppy, when you go before Saturn, you're going before your karma. So if you have done things wrong, you will be called out in this energy, and there will be a external support for that wrongdoing. So like this is a time when you face the ultimate ramification of the decisions that you're making, based on ego, right? Based on not learning your lesson, based on, so Saturn spends a great deal of time in your life teaching you a specific lesson. And in this particular energy, it has a lot to do with how to, the power that you have, the authority that you have in your own life to make decisions. But it also teaches you that if people are abusing power, to stand up and reclaim your power. But dang, if it doesn't, if your ego is out of control, and if you are out of control in any way, then the other thing that it does, and this is very unfortunate, but the other thing that it does is it's somebody calling you out, somebody that is right, somebody that has authority over you, somebody that has power over you. And this could be very heart-based. So I kind of think of relationships in this energy, families, because Venus is in Cancer. And I see that there's, you know, this pretty intense, square that we're having. And for Cancer energy, a square is like overwhelming, let alone a quincunx, right? And so, this is just, it's like one of those things where, you know, you're brought forth and you're, okay, it could be that it is a leveling down of your ego. If your ego is a monster and it's getting out of control and it's not checked, right? This is a checking of that ego. This is a, hey, everything actually doesn't revolve around you, and that we are collective, and everything you do impacts other people. And you have to keep that in mind because we've got Venus in Cancer, right? So a couple other energies I want to talk about a little bit is Mars. Mars, woo! Mars is in a mood. Mars in Aries. So Mars is in its home sign. So is Saturn, home signs. So dude, this is fixated. This is energy that is, they're very tuned in to that particular energy because it's honed in, it's homed in, right? So Mars is in Aries. It's in the, and this has to do with the self. And so we get very activated in energy like this because this is very anything that is happening right now, it doesn't matter how external it is, it's impacting your sense of self, what you identify with, what you align with, you know, the labels that you put on yourself, the labels that you're defined as, you know, the way that you take action. If you're threatened, that's all kind of like what you need to do in your life to take action to get your life going in a specific direction that you feel that it should be going in. So we have all this external energy, but we have this very deep focus on our sense of self at the same time. Kind of crazy, huh? Well, Mars in Aries is in a square, and they're just a couple good degrees off, by the way, with Saturn. But it's also in a square with Jupiter in Capricorn, Saturn in Capricorn, and we also have Pluto in Capricorn. All of these in retrograde. So all of this has to do with something to do with our past, something to do with, it could be that somebody from the past has been abusing power for far too long, and we're now standing up and taking control of that. Because that could be the trine that this Mars-Aries energy has with the new moon and Mercury, as well as the North Node. This could be standing up for yourself. This could be finally having tough conversations and, you know, kind of, really holding true to that position and, not yielding. It's a time for, mental independence, for you to release yourself from something that has had control over your life for far too long. This also has a lot to do with the people that, want to break free. They want to draw boundaries. They want to get some control over situations. And so it's the square that's enough to just initiate action to do these things. So now you're like, shoot, that sounds like a crazy week. Like, what the hell are we going to do to make that positive, right? Well, we can have conversations because the new moon that is in Leo is in a sextile with a north node. So progressive conversations, how to deal with these situations, progressive concepts, progressive ways that you can look at this. Be open and fluid and receive information as much as you like to spew it out. This can't be all from your perspective. This has to be a conversation that is fluid. It goes back and forth, and then you have this wonderful enlightening experience because you've considered somebody else's opinion. This just reminds me a little bit of the talks about the stimulus package in America. We've got Democrats on one side, and we've got far left, far right, and we've got conservative Republicans, or we've got Democrats and Republicans, and they are at a standoff right now. Well, when they're arguing and bickering back and forth in energy like this, they're going to pick a side and they're just not going to yield. So I don't feel like a lot is going to get done this week. As far as politically, I don't feel like there's going to be a lot of mutual conversations. I feel like there's going to be a lot of egos that are going to be at play, and people who want what they want and they're not going to yield. This is not a week that we're going to come to some great understanding about what to... this isn't the week to talk things through. This isn't the week that we are going to gain any kind of ground. Now, you're like, Annette, a new moon is a new beginning. It's like beautiful. It's like amazing. Oh, yeah, I'll give you that. It can be that beautiful, but here's my problem. On the 22nd, by the end of the week, this is like Saturday, the sun moves into Virgo. And I feel like toward the end of the week into the following week, we start dealing with some of the details. Our egos are always going to be at play, and we're always going to have these opposing energies, and this isn't going away anytime soon. But hashing out the details, working through the details, paying attention to the details, working hard at a resolution starts to come into play probably the following week. As we get closer to September, I feel like that is when the energy is going to start to shift, because as we move into Virgo energy, people are going to be ultra sensitive to the power and control struggles of the government, and there's going to start to be some demand for those things to change. And for some of us, I feel like by the end of the week, we could just be mentally sensitive. We could just be very mentally overwhelmed with everything. For most of us, we could be caught in just the analysis paralysis side of things, where we just can't make a decision because it's just too mentally overwhelming. I mean, when the sun moves into Virgo and we're starting at those very, those 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 degrees, that's when things are... we can't mentally handle. Like, that's the immaturity of that said energy. It's the beginning of that energy. And so there's a lot of stuff that we'll have to work hard to get through, and we'll have to take a look at all the details of it. What we're going to have to try to find, try to find a perfect solution. And perfection can be very overwhelming, because how can you make two opposing energies, how can you get them centralized on the same thing? That's tough. And so as we go into Virgo season, I feel like we have some we're going to be a lot more worried. There's going to be we're going to be a lot more nervous about things. A lot of people are going to have a lot more anxiety. It's just going to be a time when I think we need to be a little bit sensitive to what our bodies are feeling, because we're not in this full-blown ego-based energy of the Leo energy. I'm going to be doing like a positive initiation energy for this new moon. That's going to be in Leo, so that we can try to focus on positivity. I will be doing that this week. I think that's going to be for Tarot Tuesday, just an FYI, so that you guys can have it in time for the 18th. But anyhow, guys, thank you so much for tuning in, and I look forward to talking to you guys again in your pick a card reading. Hi guys, thank you for choosing in pile number 1. So pile number 1, we chose the Sun. So this actually does represent, this is 19. And if you do 9 plus 1, well, if you just do 1, that's the individual, 9 is a culmination. But if we also just do 9 plus 1, it's a 10, which means you're on to a new actual progressive time in your life, like you're moving forward. But this also has to do this week with the new moon that we're going to be having in Leo, and the Sun rules Leo. So as you can see from here, you can feel the fire, you can feel the heat from this card. We have the doves in the corners, which is freedom. It is looking for a more peaceful time, more fun, to have the freedom to make choices. It's a really beautiful card here we have here. So I'm going to go ahead. Let's talk about your guys' tea for the week. What are you guys going to be looking at? Success. So success is one of those terms to me where I think of, it's not only just the success of, like, as far as like material realm success, but success has a lot to do with, like your feeling of being successful, abundant, happy, of having a really good life. So I feel like for some of you, especially with the Sun card, you guys are going to be really zeroing in on wanting a lot of pleasurable, fun, happy experiences in your life. Okay, so you guys may have a younger woman that is going to be very prominent, dealings with a relationship with the younger woman. This could be your daughter. This could be somebody very close to you. This could also just be somebody younger than you, has something cool to interact with this week. Okay, so you have feather. So someone you know is undependable and insecure. So during Leo season, especially Leos, and we are dealing with, like I said, children, some of you just may have to prop somebody else up this week. Some of you may be that cheerleader, that sunshine in somebody else's life. That happens a lot during Leo season. Horseshoe, good luck. Woohoo! You guys have good luck for the week. That is wonderful. So really just concentrate on the positive that's going on this week. We have a lovely sextile that's going to be in the North Node in Gemini. So for some of you, this could just be very light, fun, hearty conversations. This could be conversations about moving forward in your life. We also have a sextile that's going to be in Uranus and Taurus. And so for some of you, family is going to be really important to you, and just maybe something you want and hope to possess. Some of you might get a little lucky and find a good deal, or find something that's like really wonderful. Like a way to get it maybe. Because sometimes in Taurus energy, like you find a deal. And then an older man, dealings in relationships with an older man. So that's very interesting. Could be it to me. When I felt this, I felt like all of this Capricorn energy, this authority, I felt like it was an authority figure. I don't know why, but I just couldn't get over that feeling of like, this has to do with like a father, a grandfather, an authority figure in your life. Okay, and let's see what this next one is. We have kite. Vacation. Ooh, some of you are going away for the summer in America, in the northern hemisphere. It's kind of times when everybody goes on vacation and they go and they have some fun. They get out in the sun and they start to really enjoy themselves, which is such great energy for Leos. Okay, guys, what do we have for you this week? Oh, you guys have the dragon. I love the dragon as your spirit animal. I'm going to read that to you because I really love what she has to say. Kim Kearns has to say about, or Kranz has to say about the dragon. Okay, the dragon. Seeing one's most true self, balancing the ego. The dragon sees everything. Its essence has been with us since before our first breath and will be there till our last. It watches us navigate the external world as well as our internal world. When the dragon energy is awakened, we are courageous, visionary, and can easily drop into witness consciousness. It is almost as if we were traveling with a great friend inside ourselves. When we look in the mirror deep in our eyes, we may even glimpse the self behind the self, the one who is watching us. This is the power of the dragon, breathing transformative fire into every cell of our bodies. Witnessing this, even for a brief moment, helps us surrender and let go. When we let the dragon guide us, we hop on its back for a ride and we traverse even the most difficult terrain. The dragon's eyes see beauty everywhere, and it is said that if a yogi does not see the beauty in the world, it is described as the inner fire and the sacred intelligence. May even just the mention of the dragon stir the embers of intelligence within you. I really like this because for you in particular, my loves, with the sun energy, I'm feeling you guys pretty fired up this week. I'm feeling you guys pretty action oriented. And there was this kind of this like a little free spirit here. There was like a little bit of fun that you guys were having. So some of you just may be out for a little bit of fun as you move into this week. This also just reminds me of the child-like energy that you can get when you step into Leo energy. It's like that inner child wants to come out and just play. And so even, it doesn't matter how old you are, when you get into Leo season, sometimes you just want to go out and have a good time and just forget the world. And that childish energy comes out in you, you know, that energy that before you got all bitter and you got all tainted by life, you know, you just have that childish spirit that's in you. Oh my gosh. I love this card so much. This is the old soul cards, by the way. And so you guys got, just look at the radiating sun around this person, just wanting to have a good time. I also look at this as just being very divinely guided and protected through this week. So if some of you may just be very, very focused on the fun side of life, look at all the yellow energy, and we have all this fire-based energy. I just feel like happiness is going to be a very big focus for you guys this week. We may be having, maybe you guys aren't even tuning into the Saturn energy. I feel like you guys are very, very honed into the new moon that's going to be happening in Leo, which is very positive energy. Okay, we have judgment. I understand that everyone has their own unique path and challenges. So judgment is one of those things where you may just be releasing your judgments. You may be out there just having a good time. You may not want to engage in any sort of intense week. For some of you, you really just want to be out there playing. You don't want to be judged by others. You just want to go, you can't be engaged in the negativity. I'm feeling very positive from your pile number one. You guys are very happy. You're very, just fully charged up. 66. 6 plus 6 is 12. But we also just have 6 and 11. I kind of think of like, whenever I see a 6 or like a number, that I always think of its 11 content, you know, like it just goes down to 6. And so it is a very healing time for some of you. I'm feeling your inner child in this. I can't help it. Like, I feel like your inner child is done with the seriousness, done with the drama. You really need to go out and have some fun and release yourself. And that's very healing. You've had a very mentally overwhelming and dramatic span of time, and you need to release that and just go out and have fun. I don't know why I'm feeling such like a fun vibe for you guys, but I am. So let's see what's going on in your planets, because I'm very interested to see. Hopefully we get some positive planets in good directions for you. Saturn you don't seem to be in a power and control struggle in this energy. What it seems like is you're just very open to lots of people. The older man, the younger woman just could indicate that you are just in a very fun-loving mode. And I sometimes think of the younger woman as like the inner child. Maybe you're older and maybe some of you just are very in tune with your younger self. I can kind of feel that a little bit in this energy. Okay, so we have the Five of Faith. So this is the Hierophant, but it's in reverse. And so this is Taurus energy. Well, we do have Uranus and Taurus, and like I said, Uranus and Taurus was in a sextile for you. Let's see what else we have here. We have the Queen of Cups. We do have Venus, which is in Cancer, and this is in just a very positive aspect. And I'm so vibing with the fact that Venus is in Cancer, training or in a sextile with Uranus and Taurus, but also training Neptune and Pisces. I'm kind of feeling the vibe that some of you are just really getting simplistic with your energy. You're really just keeping it real. You're going out there, you're having fun. You're kind of going with the feels. So you're in the moment and you're doing what feels good. And I feel like for some of you, that's super empowering because, you know, you don't want like any intensity. The reason why the Hierophant or Faith is in reverse for you is because I don't think that you're looking at this from like this big view. I feel like you're really caught up in the Leo energy, which is all about, it's not the most introspective energy. It's more of you're just very focused on the here and the now and having a good time and, you know, not really wanting to gauge. Look at you, 10 of Cups. Absolutely. You guys are in the feels. You're in the moment. You're all about heart, all about the passion of life. You're not about to tune into this negative, you know, issue that's going on with everybody. Like, you really, really need to go out and have a good time and just release yourself from this a little bit. So let's take a look at your clarifying cards, which are my favorite so much, so much. I'm gonna do that though. Okay, let's take a look. You guys got the sun again. Wow. Shining like the sun. Look at you with your Ace of Wands here. You guys aren't caught up in this moment of like needing to be super introspective and in your head and looking at the big picture and, you know, looking at this from a faith point of view. You have all the faith you need. You have two suns. I mean, you have literally all the faith you need, all the fire you need. You don't need to get worked up to feel the good vibes. Like, you feel the good vibes. Like, you know, like you're into the new opportunities. You're into going toward taking action and doing things that are going to make you feel good. I mean, you're definitely, you have so this is beginning of the week. By midweek, you have the Ace of Swords coming your way, getting a little bit in your head. Oh, then you have the Queen. You have the Queen of Cups here twice. Let's talk a little bit about the Queen of Cups because I really like the Queen of Cups. I feel like information is tough and it's going to bum you out toward the midweek. Like, it's just so much rhetoric. That's what you're going to experience. You're going to experience rhetoric. You know, like just rhetoric, just information you don't want to hear. You choose not to see it. You don't want to engage in it. You don't want to be subjected to it because you're feeling a vibe of something else. Like you just want to release yourself from negativity because you're really feeling a certain kind of vibe here. Like you're really vibing on a different level. I mean, you're kind of got, you know, you got your 10 of Cups here, so you're super vibing. Temperance and the Knight of Pentacles. When I'm looking at that, I feel like when temperance shows up in a reading, it's asking you to be temperate and to be moderate. It's asking you to be aware of the light and the dark, and it's asking you to kind of balance fire and water. And for some of you, you may be dealing with that. You may have these instincts and these feelings that you have, but you have this sun feeling, this burst of energy, this resilience to what's going on. And so it may be hard. Maybe why temperance is showing up for you is to kind of give you some advice about, hey, there's more to life right now than this getting caught up in the moment type feeling. I'm feeling like you get very caught up in the moment, caught up in the good feeling vibes. Toward the end of this week, as we move into freaking Virgo energy, which does tend to make us a little bit more realistic, a little bit more tuned into, you know, what's, you know, just like kind of take a look at this from the big picture, like look at this from, you know, the side of, you know, it's not just about being in the moment. I feel like you're kind of getting that little talking to from the universe of like, hey, there's more than that. So I'm going to put these aside over here. And I'm going to put that there just because I want to be able to grab these if I need to. Okay, let's take a look at your next card here. And this one is a new deck I'm trying out, so I may have to read a little bit, but it is the Oracle of Seven Energies. I just got it. So let's see what this says. The Uncharted Sea. I'm very interested. I'm going to read that one because that one I can intuitively pick up. I do know that we have two Queen of Cups here. I do understand that you're very, very intuitive. You're very, very receptive to this water energy. Venus is in Cancer, which is water-based. So this trine that's going on with Neptune and Pisces helps me understand that you're probably very, very tuned in to like what you need on an unconscious level. So for some of you, the vibe to lift your energy may be that, but I'm interested in what the book has to say. Just because that's what I feel. Stepping into the unknown without a map, moving beyond our comfort zone, choosing to do things differently, trusting in the ebb and flow of life, and being in the dark and letting curiosity lead, the faith that all will be well. Very interesting that it said faith. And our faith was in reverse. Maybe toward the end of the week, you guys are like midweek, especially toward the end of the week, but definitely toward the midweek. It's that you could have like your faith tested. But I feel like some of you with these Queen of Cups, you guys are just intuitively know that there's kind of a bigger picture going on and that you don't need to really worry. It does say your comfort zone is sometimes exactly that, a safe, familiar harbor that you finally come to in yourself. You have a sense that you don't need more than what is available to you where you have landed in life. And now, however, it is not one of those times. This archetypal hero's journey, the universe is inviting you to step into uncharted waters. Something is stirring. Adventure is calling. So I'm very interested in that for you because there's so much sun energy, and there's so much of this wands energy, and I'm just feeling like you guys are like vibing hard. And so I feel like for some of you some of you may be stepping into some uncharted territory. Maybe some of you are, it's what the sun tends to illuminate and shine on and focus on a particular area. And so for some of you, that could be what's going on right now. I'm also using another, oh, here it is. I'm using, I got it off of, it's like an indie deck, and it's called, oops, I'm sorry, I had it upside down, I didn't notice. It's the Illuminated Earth Oracle, and so let's see what it has to say. Okay. We have upheaval, and I'm interested that you got upheaval along with this uncharted sea. Do you see that synchronicity? Very cool. So I'm going to put these guys together because I'm interested in their synchronicity, and I'm going to look at upheaval because I've never used these decks, so you guys have to tolerate some reading because it's kind of cool. I mean, I think this stuff is neat especially when there's like synchronicities of two different decks. There is a disturbance in the normal order of things. Division caused by unexpected chaos may call for the reordering of familiar routine. Have faith. Again, faith shows up. You'll be able to face challenges ahead, and order will be restored in due time. Seek out resources that are available to assist you. So I'm feeling like you guys do have something that kind of rattles the faith a little bit. Maybe it's just a faith in our government, a faith in the fact that they know what they're doing, a faith in the fact that they have any control over what's going on. I mean, for some of us, the information, and I'm feeling info here. The info might be tough that you guys have to hear. It may make it feel a bit like there's upheaval, and I know that if I turn on way too much, if I listen to, it doesn't matter because I listen to all sides of every story, just because somewhere in there, in the middle of all of it's the truth. And I'm not on a particular side. Like, I'm not a Democrat, I'm not a Republican, I'm not any kind of label, and I hate being labeled. But sometimes I do side on a specific argument or a specific story, and that can create upheaval and frustration if I am not agreeing with the general consensus, or with the way that it's being portrayed, or the way that the facts are being manipulated. And so for some of you, you may get caught up in all that drama. Please don't let the sun, so Leo season can do this to you guys. It can make you get caught up in the drama. Please don't allow it to do that to your week. You are in control of the energy you tune into, and don't let other people take you on their ride, because all they are going to do is make you feel like you don't have a safe place, that your comfort zones are being threatened, and that there's upheaval in your life. Don't let this happen, because you have the ability to have a really good week. Okay, so we have truth here for you. Yeah, in the midst of, so you have to look at this. Guys, don't be so stuck on your side. I know that you pick a side and genuinely you have a side, right? But don't be so hung up on your side of the story, or your side, or your team, or however you call it. In between the truth, the perspectives of people is the actual underlying truth. And for some of you, what you may find with this faith issue is that somewhere your faith may get a little shaken by the truth of this, the actual truth of the situation. Now understand, as we get into Virgo season, the details start getting a little bit more point blank. The facts start to come out, and we start to hear a lot of things, and we can be very critical of these situations because, you know, I mean, we're much more acute in our thinking. We're much more in tune with the facts, and we can kind of see through the BS a little bit more when we get into Virgo energy. Oh my gosh, you got a third sun. Paint the sun back into your sky. Look at, I'm telling you, this is, all right, let's talk. I feel this energy so hard, like so hard. Okay, somebody is going to try to dim your sun, or maybe the information, or maybe what you are subjected to is going to try to dim your sun. Don't let it happen this week. You have the power and the control to paint the sun in your life, back into your life, and not let somebody take the sun away from you. Okay? Don't let people dim your sun. They want to. They want to control us. They want to put us into fearful states so that they can manipulate our thinking, so that they can get us to do what they want them to do. Don't let that happen, because you have a bad butt reading. You have a great reading. Okay. We have clay. Okay. I don't know. That one's going to be a fun one, because it's like, I think of clay, I think of fixed and hard, but I also think it can be softened up with water. So I'm just kind of interested. I've never gone clay before. You guys we're doing a lot of firsts together. And I love my books. You know that. Like, all I do is read. I have like weekly reading goals. So you guys have to go through, if you like me, you're going to have to go through my readings goals with me. Okay, clay. Clay has long played an important part in creation myths, especially those that say that the gods fashioned humankind from clay and breathed life into it. This connection is still present within the Jewish myth of the golem, and I probably didn't say that right, a creature made of clay that is brought to life with a breath and sacred words. Clay is the result of fine particles being deposited over time by bodies of water. Since early humans congregated near life-giving water sources, our discovery of clay was inevitable. Across the world, every culture has developed its own system of ceramics, using it for containers, home construction, and spiritual and decorative objects. Our hands give clay shape, and then fire transforms its molecules into something that stands for the test of time. All it takes is a touch to make an impression upon clay, and something begins to take shape. Realize that even the smallest gestures can impact others greatly, for better or for worse. I like that. When I do a lot of analogies with clay, when I think of manipulating clay and to forming shapes. And sometimes when we get in a new moon in Leo, we are in that manipulation period where we have a blob of clay, and we are manipulating it, and we are forming a shape, and we are making it into something beautiful. And so for us, this time in life, I just want you to understand, this period in history, this time that we are present in, is a manipulation, and it is forming us into something else. And if we can look at it from that perspective, yes, it's threatening to our comfort zones. It's financially paralyzing. I think that it's also, it can be very difficult to make it, we don't feel secure. We don't feel like it's very stable right now. And those are all very important things. But you have to understand, we're merely in a cycle of change as we move forward. So I thought you needed a little hug, a little love. And so here is the note that you guys are getting from the universe. It says, reconsider your commitments. So don't get too overwhelmed. As we get toward the end of the week, we start to get into the Sun and Virgo, and we start to get a little bit more consumed with like all of our appointments and the things we got to do and the details we got to attend to. So kind of keep it simple this week. We have some intense energy. So this is just a little reminder from the universe to just, keep it simple, and just don't overcommit yourself, because that can happen when we get into a Sun and Virgo. And it says, there's a little message on the back, and it says, have you piled so much on your plate that there is little room for you? Identify what truly matters and graciously decline the rest. There is a universe of meaningful opportunities on the other side of no. In fact, every no makes space for the perfect yes. Your freedom is closer than you think, guys. That's really beautiful. I love that so much. So I'm going to just create a little room here, my loves, for, first of all, let's do this. Let's see what the dice have to say. Well, we have Pluto. Okay. We have Cancer. So Venus is in Cancer right now. And I said that I felt like you guys were very in tune with the sextile that's going on with Uranus and Taurus. But also what's going on, Pluto is conjunct with Jupiter. And, you know, there is a beautiful sextile with Neptune and Pisces. And I kind of just felt like you guys had this Queen of Cups here for a reason. But you also have 3. And then we had, that's the Gemini energy, guys. The Gemini energy rules 3s. Let's see if you can see the 3. Can you see the 3? Does it allow? Come on, man. Don't be drama. There you go. There's your 3. So for some of you, it's just, you know, that you guys could have a very important conversation coming up. This is about, Pluto is always about transforming something into different form. You did have clay. So I'm feeling like some of you are in a very transformative time. Like it said, you know, like especially with this, you know, uncharted seas. I feel like some of you are going through a lot of changes there. Okay. Sorry, I had to adjust the lighting a little bit because I don't know what my freaking camera is doing. It's been drama. Okay, guys, so I alternate my charm boxes for you guys so that we get more than the same choices all the time. And I turn my head away when I'm doing this so that I don't know what I'm grabbing. Oh shoot, I grabbed way too much, but that's what's stuck in my hand. So let's take a look at this. We have always. Love always. That's cute. We have, it looks like a little sewing machine. I think of putting things back together. I think of attachment when I see a sewing machine. I think of assembling, getting the right materials together so that you can create something. That's what I thought of when I saw that. We have the turtle. Turtles are really symbolic for me because they symbolize longevity. Earth-based energy. They symbolize, you know, like making goals for that can be sustained over a long period of time because turtles live so long. I kind of always think of that when I see turtles. Plus, I just freaking love turtles. Who doesn't love a good turtle? We got the rhinoceros. So rhinos are very pig-headed. They're very dangerous. They're something that people, I think, underestimate. So I think somebody might try to underestimate you, but you may prove to show them who exactly has the power. This says find joy. Okay, find joy in the journey. Well, yeah, you're definitely on a journey, right? I mean, you're definitely on a journey here. Into uncharted seas for sure. We have yin and yang, and then this just makes me think of you guys had temperance. Somewhere is my little temperance guy. Come on, man. Like super hard to get to, but temperance. So with this yin and yang, I feel like some of you just have to be very moderate and very temperate. The yin and the yang balance is going to be very, very important to some of you. The need for balance and control. But also to look at things from 2 different perspectives. I think of a lot of times with temperance. Oh my God, you guys got 2 sewing machines. That's crazy. And they're different. Or are they the same? Oh, they're the same. I have never gotten 2 charms. I actually went through all my charms to make sure I didn't have 2. That's kind of nuts, but you're going out. Who wants the same message, right? Oh, you guys have a little mouse. Let me see. I'll get him into focus. You guys have a little mouse here. And this little mouse, I think of mice being super resilient. I think of mice being really productive. I think where there's a will, there's a way with a mouse. I mean, they're going to get in no matter what. But they're also like the way that they're sly and sneaky, and that they kind of, I think of the way that they just stop, like they want to be undetected. So maybe somebody's trying to have some undetected movements. That's what I felt. I don't know why. We have the 10 of Swords here, which just suggests that there's a culmination. And I feel like when I did the numerology, we did 6 + 6 is 12. I feel like for some of you, like I'm trying to think of, I feel like it's kind of in your head. Like I feel like you guys have the wisdom and the forthright to move forward to get to this point of healing. That's what I was brought to, was just like that point of healing. We also have the Ace of Wands. You have the Ace of Wands twice here, guys. See? So the Ace of Wands, so a new opportunity. You need to take some new action. Something might come something might come at you that's a new opportunity. I think that's very real. And then we have the Queen of Swords, which the Queen of Swords is just, oh, I do not know what I just did with that, but here. The Queen of Swords is just this ability to, like, I don't know, be mature and to be emotionally just disengaged, to be like emotionally, sorry, I was trying to get that to better focus. Just emotionally disengaged, so that you can look at things on a more logical, rational level. But I do feel like you're also strongly intuitive in this energy. So that's it for charms. Let's go ahead and take a look at what words do we have to work with this week. What's your guys' words for the week? Okay. I'm digging deep in the little bag of words. Okay. What do we come up with this week, guys? Okay, so what do I see? What jumps out at me? Nothing? Neat. Oh my gosh, this totally reminds me of the Sun in Virgo, and just the need to be neat and tidy and to organize. I see there, I see, oh, we don't have an R. I was going to say, well, we have lean. Some of you may have some friends you need to lean on, or like I said, I feel like some people are going to need to lean on you a little bit. You may be tied up a little bit here. I feel like with that, a new name may come into your life. Like when I'm saying name, like a new person comes into your life, adding like a new name to your like text. That's what I thought. Or like, I don't know, you start conversing with somebody. But I see like new name. I don't know why. And then, let's see. Ooh, do I see? Do I not have a D? Oh, I was going to say I saw fluid, but I don't see. Why do a flute? Like, not sure that would pertain to anybody, but a flute. I also think of a flute as like you're following along somebody else, like they're like they've spellbound you. Like that's what I thought of when I saw flute, of like, you know, like the Pied Piper, how he like got people to follow him with his music. like almost like a smooth talker. I'm kind of feeling a little bit with that energy. It's so crazy because we have so many words, like letters here, but yeah, like, why can't I make words? Like, what's wrong with you, Annette? You know why? It's because I don't have an R. And everything I keep trying to make. Aw. Oh, I'm glad it's not there. So T, there might be some T that comes out, might be some truth. You did have truth come up. Where did I see it? I know I saw. Oh, truth, yeah. So there might be some T, some truth that comes out. I think of the internet when I see net. You know, the net. Like some information online, maybe. See if I see anything else. Oh my gosh, I see guilt. I see guilt there. That's what I see so far. I'm going to go ahead and get your numbers out, guys. So I'm going to dig in here. Okay, so we have 63. I've got 9 there. I've got 84. We've got 39. We've got 12 and 12 represented. And again, 12 and 12 is just like 1 is the individual, 2 is couple, or 2 is a pair, or 2 is somebody other than yourself. And then 7, we have another 10. Why did I? Oh, because we had the 10 here. So 10 was brought up again, but you guys, this is a beautiful card. I mean, but it's also a culmination, a completion. When you get a 10 of cups and it's like, you know, in this Pisces energy, it is a feeling of you are starting over, you are starting to bring, it's making way, it's a culmination, it's a completion, it's a karmic ending, it's an ending to something, it's a closure. I think for some of you, some of you are just really going to be moving forward. You know what else I saw here, and I'm just going to bring it up, is fees. I'm seeing some like fees that some of you may have to deal with, unexpected fees. But anyhow, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. This is your reading. If you find anything else and you're like, Annette, why didn't you see it? Please bring it up. But other than that, I hope that you have a wonderful week, and thank you so much for watching. Much love to all of you, and be the change that you want to see in the world, okay? Have a great week. Bye. Hi, beautiful people. It is Annette with Sun to Shine Astrology and Tarot, and you guys chose pile number 2 for the week of August 16th through the 22nd, Temperance. And Temperance is 14, which 1 plus 4 is 5, but you could also do 1 and 4. So maybe some of you are craving a little stability. Maybe some of you are craving, you know, maybe some of you are thinking about your future and, you know, what you want. And you could be having this conversation with yourself about just, you know, the responsibilities that you have in your life and just how stable are they, you know, like I'm thinking of like your job or your career aspirations, or some of you may be thinking about your home life a lot, or where you're living a lot, for some of you, you know, where you actually are solidifying your foundation. This is a deeply personal journey, because anytime that you get into Temperance, if you look at here, Temperance is balancing fire and water, but actually Temperance is just the balance. Like if you look at all the colors that she put in her card, It's literally balancing your emotions, your need to take action, to be grounded. Like, she used all of the colors here to represent what temperance means. So let's go ahead and see what your guys' tea for the week is. What are you guys going to be focused on? What's being emphasized in this new moon? What do you guys need? How do you guys need to direct this energy so where you can pour, like you can center in and zero in on it to bring forth the most abundant energy in that area? Well, wow. Was I dead on? Career. For you guys, it's career. It's your life path. It's your career life path destiny. Career doesn't have to be the job that you are. It's career is your mind. It's the way that you interpret the direction that your life is going in. And is it gratifying? Is it sustaining? Is it stable? You know, you guys may be looking at all of those things. Let's take a look. Ooh, well, a woman is going to be very prominent in your life this week. Dealings with a relationship with a woman, dealings or relationship with a woman. So for some of you, a woman may be you may be having conversations with women this week that are going to be very important. Chair filled. Someone new is entering your life. Woohoo! Okay, well, for a new moon in Leo, somebody new coming into your life is all kinds of playtime, all kinds of happy. It's just, it brings more passion, it brings more light, it brings more emphasis on the good part of life. I mean, new people are just so great for Leo energy, and especially in a new moon. Oh my gosh, women are hardcore coming up for you guys. What's going on? Like, you need some feminine energy to balance all this masculine energy you got going on. So dealings with a relationship of a woman with a dark complexion or hair. Very interesting. I love me a good brunette. It doesn't matter if a man or woman. I love brunettes. I don't know why. Just have this like insane passion for brunettes. Like, they're just so cute. Down to earth usually. Okay, we have Jug. Lighthearted, carefree time. So for some of you, I would get out a little bit. Maybe some of you who are looking to expand your social circles with like maybe girlfriends, or if some of you are looking to meet a new woman, or if some of you are feeling a little flirty, because you would in a new moon in Leo, let's just get real, conjunct with Mercury in Leo, you're feeling a little spunky in this type of energy. And then we have Tree, affairs with your family. Well, we do have Venus in Cancer. That's all about family. So for some of you, the female that could be in this, that's coming up in your life, could be the woman in the life, the woman in the household, kids. Kids come up a lot with Leo energy, you know, or your childhood, or anything having to do with your, you know, like what comes up a lot is issues regarding children come up a lot when we're dealing with this. And so maybe for some of you, it could be a daughter, because you had, we had a woman here. So for some of you, it could be like a daughter, a mother, somebody like that. Okay, guys, you have the Crow spirit. Okay. How you doing, air? Interesting. So let's read a little bit about our Crow spirit that you guys have for the week. Pile number 2. Okay, Crow, spiritually strong, creative, and watchful. So I have a thing for crows. When I see a crow, even though I know that, like, if you look up the spirit meaning of a crow, sometimes spirit crow meaning can be very bad luck, but I look at them as being very good luck. They're the most intelligent bird, and they have like the ability to just have an insane vocabulary. But one thing that I think is really cool about them is they're one of the few birds that can actually use tools to achieve goals. So when I see a crow, I look at it as like, I need to, you know, maybe I need to look into something. Maybe I need to do more research. There's going to be some resources for me to tap into. When you see a crow, think of resources, because I feel like, you know, that's been indicative in my life. So crows are very good luck for me. But anyhow, let's go on to your reading, because this isn't about me. The crow has long been a symbol of magic, a crow personality is drawn to the supernatural and has a gift for seeing the unseen, knowing the unknown. So very instinctual, very intuitive. It is said that the crow holds within its mind's eye the three realities, past, present, and future. Crow energy is potent and should only be tapped into when the mind is clear. Those with the crow tendencies must balance their lives with a healthy diet of joyful friends and regular self-study. So it says, when in balance, psychic, strong and clear. When out of balance, ungrounded and hypersensitive. Very interesting. I am looking at the fact that this new moon is conjunct with Mercury, which is in Leo. And we do have this intense Saturn-Capricorn issue going on in the same degree. So I'm very interested to see what kind of things a crow is going to be paying attention to in your energy. What is it honing in on? What is it helping you be receptive to, so that you can be very intuitive about what the crow is seeing? Okay. Oh my gosh. And then we have seeing, dude. Like, look at that. Seeing, an inner knowing, being receptive to. This is the soul cards, the one. I'm also looking at the amount of blue, but the white. The white to me is purifying, it's simplifying, it's clarifying. I feel like you need some clarification. You're going to get some clarification. That's what I'm feeling very hardcore. Indecision. Okay, let's do this. I used my intuition in all aspects of my life. I used my intuition. And then we have the crow. And then we have this inner seeing. You guys are going to get some downloads intuitively. I mean, you guys are going to get indecision. This time is very confusing, and it's mentally kind of rhetoric. There's a lot of mental rhetoric, and it's hard to decipher the truth from the manipulation of facts. And so I feel like intuitively you guys are going to be very good at seeing through the garbage. I'm interested in this whole woman energy. You have such strong women vibes. It's like something about a woman. I don't know. 13, effort. So 1 and 3. So I look at okay, so 1 is the individual and 3 is extremes. To me, when I think of a 3, I think of one extreme, the other extreme, and in the middle. But also 3 plus 1 is 4. And I'm also thinking of the 4 that we have here. See the 10 plus the 4. I'm feeling like stability. I'm feeling like something to do with stabilizing a situation, or something to do with like just the things that make you feel stable is going to be emphasized. And so some of you may have to put in some effort. But I'm also like the yellow in this card is so, and the fire, I'm feeling like a lot of yellow. So I'm feeling like there's a lot of focus and a lot of, I see the sun, and when I think of the sun, I think of zeroing in, centering in, and focusing on something very important. Let's go ahead and look at your planetary energy that's going to be impacting you guys this week, because I'm feeling the vibes. I love a crow spirit. I love me a good crow spirit, guys. You know, and I also like the egret. This is an egret. I actually did some research on the egret. Have you ever, or sorry, not an egret, but a blue heron. Blue herons are very interesting to me, because have you ever watched them before? Like you've seen them in a swamp, or you've seen them in a ditch, or you've seen them in a pond. They'll just sit there for like hours waiting for the right moment. So the balance could be patience for some of you, could be waiting for that right moment. Could be waiting for the coast to be clear on something. I'm feeling, ooh, coast is clear. Ooh, oh, that's interesting. I felt coast clear. Super strong as soon as I said it. It's like, woo! Some of you are waiting for the right time, for sure. Okay. Okay, so let's take a look at your planets. You have the King of Cups, but in reverse. So you might be, well, when I think of the King of Cups in reverse, I think of, there's a little bit of emotional rapids. There's like, you're not 100% sure about something emotionally. Because I think if the king were upright, he would be like in control, 100% in control, but I don't feel like, 100% control is there. We have the Knight of Coins, which is the Knight of Pentacles, and it's upright. So Earth energy is very, very emphasized for you. What is that? Okay. And then we have the Six of Swords. And this is Mercury in Aquarius. Very interesting. Sixes are a number that's like tough. There was 66 in the last reading. Sixes are an area where sometimes we have small victories, but it's not the time. You may feel progression, but it's not the time to just like, okay, I had the small victory, so I'm done. Like, it's the time to like move forward. And so I feel like if you were here, there'd be movement, but I feel like there's something that, and then we have indecision. So I feel like there's something that you are thinking about that has to do with your future that you're feeling a little on the fence about. And so there's some indecision. But this crow is going to help you out, and you're going to get some clarification this week for sure about, in general, just the direction that you think you should go in. The good thing about it is with the Saturn energy, I feel like, what energy are you tuning into? Let's just think about that for a minute. I'm feeling very Virgo. I'm feeling like the end of the week. You guys are really building toward Virgo energy for you. Because when we get into Virgo season, we get sensitive to things. So, very interesting. Sorry. I do mix these up, like, but it helps me tune into them a little bit. So we have the Three of Pentacles. That's hard work. You guys are tuning into the Virgo sun that's coming at the end of the week. Yep, for sure. Seven of Wands. Oh, my girl. Look at her. She is sitting there up in your energy. She is telling you to move forward. Don't care what anybody has to say. Just zone in and zero in. This new moon is about zeroing in on yourself and centering yourself around what your soul wants and not listening to the rhetoric. Not being tuned into the actions that others are taking, but this is about you kind of like going your own path, like kind of doing your own thing. Oh, I love the Fool. Oh yeah, you guys are really, okay, so the new moon in Leo is all about being foolish enough to just go for it. You know how when you're a child, you have that like child, and you have that childish innocence in you, and you just have that free spirit, and you're just tuning into the vibe of like not giving, like you don't even know enough to be nervous. Like you'll do anything because everything is an experience. Like that's the Fool card. It's like you're not tainted, or you're not blocked by a realization that you can't do it. It's like you wholeheartedly feel like you can. Come midweek, we have the Magician. Dude, I am loving your energy. Every time the Magician shows up, it's a good sign for me. And the Magician is about really tuning into your inner, the thing that makes you stand out, the things that make you special, if you want to manifest something, you have the ability to do it because you have something that's special to some that only you have, and that you can really hone and perfect. You know, I think of it like when you're in school and you're learning, and you're kind of like going along with the flow, and you're going to college, right? And then you're learning from different concepts and from different things that other people have learned, and you know, you're pulling stuff from different texts, but then somehow you just get a calling. You know, like when I see these two cards together and I see this knight together, it may take you a while to completely figure everything out, and it may take a while for this action to create the consequence that you want it to. But I feel like some of you are going to be moving forward with something that is very important to you, and it's a new path, it's a new journey. And I feel like maybe that's why there's so much energy in this, intuitive energy, putting forth effort. Some of you may be being called to move forward with something that's going to take you a lot of work to get off the ground. I'm kind of feeling, because we have the career. So for some of you, it's something you have to work to get off of the ground. You have the death card. So we in pile 3 have death, guys. So if this pile resonates with you, then you might want to check out pile number 3, because death is the main card, and death is not a bad card to me. Death is the clarification, it's the grounding, it's the realization. Death to me is the removal of obstacles so that you can move forward with something new. It's a very transformative energy. It's an ending of something so that new energy can be brought forth in your life. And with this new moon in Leo, it's definitely the moving forward, the energy that's being brought forth. And as you can see, what's being brought forth in your life, I'm feeling like it's work related, because we have this 3 of Pentacles here. So I'm feeling like for some of you, it's, you know, starting anew, like getting something off the ground. But it's definitely something that you're moving forward with, but it's like intuitively kind of guided. Very cool energy. Oh, yay! Okay. You guys are the pile that gets the wish. 9 of Pentacles. What do you want your material realm to look like? For some of you, that is very much, that's heavy on the noggin here. I've been watching Bailey too much. Like, it's just a YouTube channel. But something you guys really want to make a difference in your life. You want to transform. You know what I mean? Like, it's something, it's a new direction. It's something that you're moving forward with. So if I were to say, I always try to make a wish around the energy that the card surrounds, because she's a clarifying card. She's not a main card. She's not like the focus. And so for some of you, this is a new way of thinking. This is moving forth with something, but in a new direction and a new way. For some of you, that this is an ending and a new beginning. So you are having to have faith, and you are being very wishful thinking and creating a new outcome. So for some of you, when you wish for something completely different, something that can transform your outcome, something that can change your life. But this is very material realm based, because she's like sitting in your material realm. I'm loving your guys' reading. Yeah. Okay. We got higher view. I obviously can just intuitively understand that you're looking at this. It's a lot easier for us to look at a perspective from an elevated perspective, not from a perspective that is very shallow, but a broader view, you know, like further down the line, looking at something from in its entirety instead of something narrow. But this is a new deck that I got, and so I'm going to do this really quick. So digging your guys' vibe, not gonna lie, like yes. Okay, so I'm gonna read from, and this is from the Oracle of the 7 Energies. You guys always ask me, so I just thought I'd put it in the reading. I'm gonna read a little bit from it, because you know I'm learning this deck right along with you. And sometimes our lives are suction cupped to the ends of our noses and we cannot see beyond ourselves. This happens to everyone once in a while. We fall into an automatic response to life and react from a learned, conditioned place rather than from one of awareness. Being in reactivity keeps us repeating old patterns. Conversely, the avoidance of our triggers could keep us in our comfort zone. The way to be successful in your endeavor is to connect with others, is to step out of your sticky perception of the world. Imagine yourself sitting on the back of a bird 1,000 feet above your life. Wouldn't your perspective change? I really like that. Very cool, but that's kind of what I said. So it's good that I tuned into the card the way they wanted me to tune into it. The other new deck that we're using that I've never used before is the Illuminated Earth Oracle. So let's see what this card says. Multiverse. Okay, sorry, I could barely read it. It's actually easier to read on the screen here. I should have just read it on the screen. Okay, let's go ahead and read what it is for multiverse. These are just really quick little snippets, so they're not as long as that one was. Consider the theory of multiple dimensions of reality, all existence at once. As the five senses of humanity expand to acknowledge each alternative concepts, our experiences, intuition, and dreams may reveal fascinating moments of synchronicity. Notice these moments and let your consciousness expand to accept the possibilities. Very cool. I do feel like something big is going down the pike for you guys. It's very rare that I see these types of cards all together. So I do feel like you're at a moment where you are kind of transcending your like current reality, and you're moving and changing and moving outside of that reality. And so therefore it's a change in your current trajectory or the way that you might have went. And I feel like intuitively you're being guided to do this, and intuitively you're supposed to be understanding at this level and seeing at this level, like perceiving at this level. So it's a very elevated frame of mind, guys. Oh, we have devotion. I think of devotion and I think of this. To be honest with you, I think of the devotion it takes to create something, to manifest something, to make something work. The hard work we are moving into at the end of the week, we are moving into the sun moves into Virgo. So for some of you, that is just working really hard at something and devoting a lot of time and energy to it. Okay, and then we have sword, make a change. Whoa, are you guys getting a signal that change is what you should be doing? Moving forward. Maybe doing things entirely different. Maybe doing something you've always wanted to do and not listening to what other people have to say about the direction that you're moving in. This is something like you're being intuitively guided to just go in that direction. And you have deer. You guys all know that if you've been listening to my channel that I am learning this deck as well. So let's take a look here. I'm just going to organize this a little bit better. So deer, liminal spirits. It's the liminal spirits, guys. Okay, the deer, graceful and majestic. The deer resides in the depths of the woods and on the edges of the meadows and flirts along the borders of civilization. Often inquisitive and playful, the deer can be entrancing, unpredictable, and at times dangerous to tangle with. He speaks with sovereignty, gentle fierceness, and hidden power. When this spirit is present, things can move very quietly, setting things in motion in a blink of an eye. Do not underestimate the deer spirit, as he knows intimately the cycles of life and death. It says, take care to respect and make note of your surroundings. You don't need to be loud or big to make a difference. Move forward with grace and dignity. It's very interesting. And then we've got the, you know what I'm thinking? I'm seeing, and this. Okay, these three. Let's pull these out. All right. So I want you guys to take, oh, how can I do this where I can Okay, I dropped it, but I picked it up. Okay, so these the eloquence and the grace of a dancer, the grace of the deer, and the patience and the grace of a blue heron. So there is something that you guys need to handle gracefully, with dignity, with very deliberate steps. It's something that's like you need to move cautiously, precisely. Ooh, and another thing I got so much was this guy. Very cool. I don't know what you guys got going on. You guys got stuff going on. And so I wanted you guys to get a hug from the universe because of this intense Saturn quincunx in the same degree that we have the new moon in. The powers that be having all this power and control over us, and us feeling like kind of ego. Our ego is very, what we're being centered on is just very personal, and I feel like we're having a personal struggle with what's being asked of us right now. And so I thought you guys needed a hug from the universe, and so this is your love note from the universe, and it says, you are loved. And then we have another deer, guys. Think of the beauty and the gracefulness of a deer and how slow moving and grounded that they are. But how powerful they are when they run away and how agile they are. Just think about just those kinds of things and know that you are loved by the universe and by me. But anyhow, on the back, there's always a little love note, and it says, you are enough just as you are, and you are loved. If you don't have a model for love, imagine yourself as a child. Perhaps you have a favorite picture of yourself as an adorable 5-year-old. Look into your own sweet eyes and acknowledge just how special you are. That child is inside still needs your tenderness, and so does the adult you. Please don't abandon yourself. Instead, tap into the ocean of love inside. We do need to remember to love ourselves and to trust ourselves and to have faith in ourselves as we are going through a time that makes us very indecisive about what as an individual. It's a time as we get into the sun that moves into Virgo, as we move out of this new moon in Leo, we've got to remember that we are going to get very critical perfectionist eyes as we move into the Virgo energy, and we've got to remember that we are enough. Like, we are enough. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and move these all over. Organize this a bit. Okay. Alrighty, guys. So let's go ahead and do our dice. Oh, we have Saturn in Capricorn. Well, we do have this exact quincunx. It's going to be, so I feel like some of you are going to be very sensitive on a personal level, and just follow your gut. If you are being challenged, if you are being broke down so that you can simplify things, so that you can see things from the proper perspective, just keep that in mind. And we have the 11th house here. The 11th house it rules friendships. Here, I'll do this. Sorry. It rules our friendships, it rules our social circles, it rules the internet. And so for some of you, meeting a woman on the internet or having interactions with women on the internet or texting or something like that is going to come up. Sorry. And then we have Pisces energy. So we do have a lot going down with Neptune and Pisces. It is a very intuitive time. There's a beautiful sextile with Jupiter. Both both Jupiter and Neptune both rule Pisces, guys. And so and there's a beautiful sextile between them. So for some of you, this may be just an elevation in consciousness. This may be pulling something out of the consciousness, pushing it forward, progressing it, so that it is no longer an obstacle, but it is something that you can actually yield and work with. I think of the Magician energy when I think of you becoming very conscious of something that is very powerful or soon to be very powerful in your life. Okay. So I'm going to try to like get this into focus down here. Is it? Okay, it is. All right, guys. Ooh, we need to do our charms first. Okay. I try to shake things up. Shake, shake, shake your booty. Shake it all the time. All right. Sorry, I try to like get my instincts going with these. Okay. Okay. There's a little Starbucks. It looks like a little mocha drink. Like maybe some of you will have some great conversations over Starbucks or at coffee, or some of you, you know, just maybe you need a little bit energy. I think of like a lot of energy, but I also just think of people getting together, socializing, going to coffee. That's interesting. Especially with all that woman energy. I kind of just feel like that we have the fox here. So something is, the foxes are sly. They're inquisitive. They're curious. Some of you could be, your curiosity may get the best of you. And I think I keep feeling a woman, like a prominent woman, like a woman energy in your life, a feminine energy in your life. It doesn't have to be a woman. It could just be feminine in general, like a strong feminine presence in your life, and you could be very curious about it. This is a racket. I think of, you know, bouncing ideas off. I think of rallying something back and forth. We did have indecision, so it could just be the rallying of an idea. I think of temperance too, the light and the dark, the black and the white, the yin and the yang. I think of the, you know, fire and water. I just think of the opposing energy, kind of like putting, you know, batting that back and forth in your head. We have a pineapple here. I want to make sure that's pineapple. So we have the pineapple here, and the pineapple has to do, to me, when I feel pineapple, I just think of summer, and I think of like, I don't know, I think of mixed drinks, and I think of just a rejoicing, getting together. I think of having a good time. I think of, you know, like, it makes me think of like a luau, but it just makes me think of like that getting together and feeling the sunshine and the fun and the spark in life. Revitalizing, I think of vitamin C too. It helps us, you know, it helps us absorb certain vitamins and nutrients. I know that we can absorb iron without vitamin C, and so I think of it as it's just like this. Again, much like the temperance, and this is a they them badge here, but it's also like a button. But I think of they and them, but I also think of people and socializing. And you did get the 11, which to me has to do with friendships, circles, social circles, like something to do with socializing for you guys. So let's go ahead and figure out what your guys is. Okay. I tried to dig. Dig. Okay. Your words for the week. Da, 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 da. Okay. I just immediately just saw BS. A lot of BS in the world. There's going to be a lot of rhetoric, guys. There's going to be a lot of silly people with agendas just kind of saying their own crap. Like, it just totally annoys me. Ooh, I think of Junior, JR. but also a junior. If you guys know anybody who's a junior, I saw that. Oh, I was thought we might have juice, and then I was thinking of the pineapple. I was thinking, I don't know, like it may be that. Bun in the oven. That's what, I don't know, came to mind. Bun in the oven. Some of you might be moving forward with a family, or like she's got this little baby, like children. Children come up a lot with a new moon in Leo. So if some of you really want to intend on having a child, it's a great time to bring forth that energy into the world so that you guys can, oh, run. I saw run here. Interesting. Well, some of you may just want to run away and just go have some fun and just not like overly engage right now. Or maybe some of you just don't want to be subjected to certain things. Maybe you can only handle so much right now. Big. Well, Leo's like everything big, okay? Everything big. Fun, big, exciting. I think of gigantic. I think of Jupiter expanding. So Jupiter, which is in Capricorn, so big would be Jupiter. And it's the largest planet in the solar system, but it's also conjunct Saturn, conjunct Pluto, which is in this beautiful sextile with Neptune and Pisces. I'm thinking that for some of you, you could just make a lot of big plans. Maybe you guys are looking at the long run and making like really exuberant plans. Looking at things down the road and thinking, you know, of this the most ideal life. I think of idealism is coming into play. I see that as well. Oh, okay. I also saw this just right away. Maybe some of, it might, yeah. Maybe some of you need to start making a dent. Somebody's car could get dented. I did see that, but just also somebody is trying to make a dent in some of the problems that they have been. Oh my gosh, this better not have been out of. You're pissing me off. If you've been out of focus this whole time, I'm going to be so peeved. Dumb camera. Okay, making a dent in, you know, what you got going on. A jig. Does anybody do a jig anymore? But it's there. A rig. I think of being out on an oil rig. I don't know. I think of oil, rig, ocean. That's really wild. Bat. I think of nocturnal instincts, but I think of, when I think of a bat, I think of instincts. I think of being, using a lot more of your senses than just like hearing and the visual, but I think of it as being like you're looking at things from a different perspective. You know how bats use like an echo radar to try to determine, because they're usually out, you know, in a cave or something like that. I mean, they can see, but they can see better if they use, you know, that echo radar that they have. And I know it's called something and I'm not saying it right, but rug. And when I saw a rug, I thought of being a mat, being a doormat, being a rug. Like, I just thought of, you know, like being stepped on. I saw that. Bite. Let's see, do we have anything? Oh, we have van too, guys. Van. Trying to see if I see anything else. I see give. Well, Leo season is a very giving season. Leos are all heart. They're very, they would give the shirt off their back. I mean, if they love you and they're passionate about you, they're going to give you everything. They're also very they love to give gifts. I mean, they really love to give gifts. And really exuberant gifts, like something to impress you, take you out. Very social time for... Okay, let's see what else we got here, guys. We don't want these to go too long, even though they always do, because let's face it, I talk a lot because I'm Gemini rising. They always talk too much, but what can we say? We love our talking. Okay, we have 19. We have 1 and 9, so that could be the individual with a completion. But I also think of 19, 9 plus 1 is 10. So it's also a completion, but 9, so a 10 would be the completion, the end of that journey, the start of a new journey. But 9 and 1 could mean that it is coming down to you making a decision as to move forward. But 19 could just be the 19th of the month of next month. It could also mean just the age of 19. I think of younger too, there might be a 19-year-old in your life. 42, so we have a 6 there. We have a 4 and a 2, but 4s have been showing up. So stability, it could be the stability for your family, stability for a relationship. We have 29. It'll be the 29th of next month, the 25th of next month as well. But we also had we have a 3 here. We had a 3 here. 3s to me and it has come up. Didn't we have? Yeah, we had a 3 of Pentacles here. So I'm sorry. Oops. We had a 3 here. So definitely for some of you that could mean getting a 3 of Pentacles is working with people to get a common goal attained. It can be, you know, getting a bunch of people together to work together to attain a common goal. It can also be, and as we've talked before, I mean, for some of you, it is just about 3 is just not being so extreme and being more temperate, being in the middle and not being on these giant edges of extremes. But anyhow, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. And I just want to thank you for watching. Much love to all of you, and be the change you want to see in the world. Okay, guys? Thank you so much. Bye-bye. Hi, guys. Thank you for picking pile number 3. This is regarding the week of August 16th through the 22nd. And you guys chose the Death card. And first of all, I'm a life path 3, so we are at ones, baby, with pile number 3. The Death card is an intimidating card. First of all, I look at this card, and the Death card is pile number 13. So if you were to break this down, you could be like 1 and 3. It could be 1, the individual, 3 being dealing with balance and balancing out your extremes. We could look at, because it's 1 plus 0 plus 3, we could look at that as being 4. And so some of this may have to do with your foundation, what you're rooted in, what you're building everything off of. And for some of you, this is a tearing down of any instability, and this is a regeneration of yourself. And meaning, what you're looking at is looking to build something that stands the test of time, instead of any sort of instability that you may have experienced, trying to build something on something that would never be stable, or build something out of something that would never be stable, is the wording I want to use. The Death card is transformation. Also, Death is Scorpio energy. And hold on, I gotta talk to my dog. Brantuana, no more, please. Thank you. Sorry, he was having a heyday with, you don't even want to know. But, I'm sorry, I was looking at my dog for a second. So, Scorpio energy is the depths that we go into, how deep everything can possibly go inside of us. It's where our fear lies. It's where our insecurities lie. It's where our walls are built so that we can be protected from pain. And so a lot of times you'll see that the Death card is the breaking down of those walls so that you can let out energy, so that you can regenerate a part of your life that you have let go of and you have protected yourself from. So that is everything that this Death card encompasses. Also, I think of the cycle of life, especially with this card, because I'm very in tune with the animal's energy. And when something dies, it basically disintegrates and it enriches the earth. And so that something else, some seed, can grow from the fertility of that death. And so it's a very complex card. It's a card that a lot of people fear, but you should never fear the Death card when it comes into your life, because the Death card is a sign that you're going to be changing something, and you're going to be changing something for the better. It is going to transform into something that is a different form. And so it's a very technical way of looking at it, but if you can look at it from the perspective, from this broad view, instead of looking at it as if something has ended, then you can get past the fear of this card, okay? So that's the Death card. I personally do not like being in extremes. I love everything being in balance. And so I look at this as some stability is being formed in your life. If it could be a release of an insecurity, it could be the release of an extreme in your life. And so you are meeting in the middle finally with something that, fear used to control, okay? Let's take a look at the T in your life, guys. The T. Happiness. Okay, I'm going to tell you right now, because I feel at 1. Anybody who picks pile number 3, we kind of are at 1 at that moment. And happiness is especially associated with the Death card. Happiness, and you're seeing the doves and you're seeing the sun. And so Leo this new moon is about the sun, but you're seeing the freedom and the flight that these birds represent. And the fact that they're flying away from things that no longer serve them. A new moon in Leo is basically allowing your sun to shine. It's the removal of the clouds in your life so that your sun can shine and you can grow and you can be free to pursue things that make you happy, okay? Right. Yes. Okay, so let's take a look. You have the Valley card. And the Valley is deep personal strength and peace that assures success. And the dove, although I'm not the length of the tail, although this one, but I feel like all the other tails definitely signify a dove. But I was like looking at this tail and I'm like, is that really a dove? But I feel like it is. And so when I think of the dove, I think of peace. Because the dove symbolizes peace. It symbolizes harmony. It symbolizes, just like what you experience when you have let something go. And then I think of a deep valley. I think of, I don't know if you've ever been through a valley. So you can be in extreme heat and you can go into a valley. The smell in a valley is unlike anything other. It's like this earth smell. You can feel the moisture, but you can almost smell the moisture because you can smell the life in the plants. It's really beautiful. And so for some of you may be getting in the valley of your life, a cooling off period instead of a firing up period. That's kind of what I'm sensing from that. And we have the candle. You will be shown the way. I love that. So the sun is illumination, the new moon. So the sun and the moon are conjunct, and that's what makes a new moon. And so your path is being illuminated because it is conjunct to Mercury. So you are experiencing an illuminating period in your life. Okay. We have the lily, spiritual love, divine guidance, a divine intervention. This is a feeling of getting a download that helps your instincts, helps you intuitively connect to where you're supposed to be going. Okay, frying pan. Trouble and accusations. This is a very explosive time. This new moon that's in Leo, which you are very in tune with, by the way, is in a conjunction. So the new moon is in 26 degrees, and Saturn, which is in Capricorn in retrograde, is in 26 degrees. So you will get fired up over the information that you hear, the accusations that occur during this time frame. And then we have the door. Opportunities are awaiting you. Well, a new moon in Leo is nothing but opportunistic. It is that feeling that fires you up and helps you take action so you can move toward something that makes you happy. And of course, you're getting the death card, so I feel like you're very in tune with that energy. I just want to make sure that we get all these in shot. Okay. Let's take a look at your spirit animal, guys. The rabbit. What the hell is going on? You know how many cards there are and the rabbit keeps showing up? This rabbit is never ending. It is going to make something, it's like a reemerging. I think of it like how fertile a rabbit is and how fast they reproduce. And this little puppy wants to reproduce something in your life. But let's go ahead and read what a rabbit signifies in your life. The rabbit, afraid of everything, overwhelmed and frozen. The rabbit loves to remind his friends that someday the eagle will swoop down and eat him. He talks and talks and talks about it, so loudly, in fact, that one day the eagle hears and thanks him for the great idea. The rabbit energy is alive when we are scared, most often about the future, and we become our own worst enemy. We spin up dust cloud of fear and then complain to others that we are lost. Notice your thoughts and your words, oh rabbit, they shape your destiny. When you are unbalanced, sensitive, problem solver, and good listener, when out of balance, over explains and talks fast. I'm sorry, my dog just is deciding to eat right now. He's literally had all day, but okay. So, Francois, he's like, I gotta get my Mao on right now. Whatever. We're just gonna have to deal with that. Oh, this is an interesting card. This is I've never seen this card from Soul Cards 1, and I literally do cards all day. So I'm very interested. Let me feel her. It's feminine energy, but the red. Okay, so I'm feeling compassion. I'm feeling the pain of others. I'm feeling like you guys are very receptive to what other people go through, and it is difficult for you to feel that. Combined with the rabbit and the death card, some of you are very, very empathic. Some of you are very, very receptive to the pain that others go through. And some of you are, you want to make it go away. You want to make it like, I feel like you want to heal it. You want to provide for others. I feel like you want to take the pain away. Francis, go lay down. Yeah, that soul card is this is a hard card to feel. because you're calm, you may be okay, but there's the feeling of others swirling in your energy. I feel like, yeah, that's interesting. I want to get into more of what's going on. So let's see here. Abundance. I am limitless being, and I can manifest whatever I desire in this physical reality. Okay, so here's what I'm feeling, and I'm not sure. No, some of you may be okay. Some of you may be feeling like life is okay. You're moving with this energy. You know that it's transforming your life. You know that it's moving you forward, and you're not actually hindered by the perils. And for some of you, I feel like it is a very tough time to feel. I'm feeling like, oh, this is like a feeling energy. Why am I feeling? Okay, let me see. 99 compassion. Are you serious? I never look at these cards in advance. So it's always like a present. Like I'm opening a present. How freaking weird is that? That I was just like overwhelmed by this feeling, like this feeling. Like maybe you're okay, but people that you know and love, or maybe the world, or maybe you're hearing stories about the world, they're not okay. And you know, there's a sense of abundance in your life. Maybe you made some plans. Maybe you're experiencing like a fertile time in your life, but you are knowing people that are not. When I think of 9 and 9, I think of 18, and then you think of 8 plus 1 is 9. So it just a 9, right? And when you think about this as a 9, or you can reduce it down to a 3, it just depends on how you want to deal with it. But I'll reduce this down to a 9. So there's an 11 and a 9. When I think of the 11, I think of this as like this time of spirituality. This time, it's like a time of extreme clarity. But for you, it has to do with compassion. It has to do with the role that compassion plays in your life, and how in tune you are with being a compassionate individual. But there's a 9, there's a sense of completion. And I'm going to tell you that what I feel like this is knowing that things are never going to go back to that social norm that everybody was familiar with, including you. And there's this feeling of, I don't know, like a dis-ease about it, because, you know, for you, you may be okay, but many people, maybe some people that you love deeply, maybe not having that same experience. And it's very hard because you want to provide and you want to be there. I think of the fertility of a rabbit, and I think of you want to help people. Maybe you're just like really into finding resources for people to get through this time. Maybe some of you feel particularly responsible because you're in a benefic time, that maybe some of you feel like you have to help people find, you know, their time. And I'm just, when I get into a deep feeling, like it just helps me to shuffle cards. It's like therapeutic. I don't know if everybody's like that, but I certainly am. Okay. Wow. So we have the 8, the Strength card. So you're definitely in tune with the new moon of the Leo. Leo is all heart. It's very loving, very compassionate, very warm, very protective. Some of you may be in a very protective kind of, maybe you're this person, or maybe you're the lion trying to protect everybody in your life, trying to make sure everybody's okay. Maybe you just want to help people be resourceful in a time like this. Maybe some of you feel it's not as though it's what's impacting your life is your sheer compassion for others. I'm feeling that heavily. You have the 6 of coins. Oh yeah. Some of you, oh, it's so hard because some of you feel like you need to be there. You have this is a moon in Taurus. And so some of you, especially with your inner circle, especially with those you love, are going to want to lend a helping hand. And if you, it's so funny because it's weird in this card because it shows Taurus up here, but that is a Libra sign. Can you see it? So you're very, very in tune with others. That is a balancing out. So there's a give and there's a take in this energy. If you are experiencing a fertile time, if you are experiencing where you're okay and there's some growth in your life, give back, because that energy then reciprocates back to you that feeling of giving. So giving to others will actually give more to you than you can possibly understand. Wow. You guys have a peril because it's almost like a guilt over the fact that you're doing okay when so many other people aren't. I don't know why I'm feeling that. We have the Seven of Cups, and so this is Venus, which is in Virgo. Well, we have some Virgo energy coming down the pike. We have the sun that moves into Virgo, that is on Saturday of this week. And so it's a highly emotional time. There may be a lot coming at you emotionally, where you guys are in the feels a little bit. I am feeling very home and family-ish. I'm feeling like somebody in your family is not doing as well as maybe you are. And so there's a mama bear or papa bear kind of feeling to go in there and to like make sure everybody's okay. But there's so many things going on that it may be difficult to know where to start in this journey. Some of you are just, okay, I'm just feeling you. Some of you guys are really, it's very important for others to be happy in your life. It's very important for you to nurture and take care of those you love. You're all Leo in this energy, so your heart is really, really into this energy, and so it's a difficult time because there's a merging of, okay, so like it's so weird because, you know, personally with me financially, I'm doing fine because of like all of the, I'm in the medical field, so it's like, obviously it's like a done deal field, but I know I struggle so hard sometimes with the guilt. What I'm feeling is kind of like this stuff I go through. The guilt of being okay when you hear that so many others can't eat, or they don't have a place to stay, or they're being kicked out of their house, or they can't pay their bills. Like there's this sweetness about you, I feel like, where some of you just, and you may be very, very in tune with Virgo energy. Virgo energy wants to go out there and save the world. They want to go out there. They want to heal. They want to make sure everybody's okay. And so for some of you, you're very, very in tune with the energy that's coming, which is all this Virgo energy. You want to solve the problem. You want to get things done. Okay, so we have the Page of Wands. Okay. We have Pages. So Pages of Swords. I'm very interested in this. Let's take a look here up close and personal. Beginning of week. So this to me is kids. It can be somebody who is significantly younger than you that you are responsible for, that you may feel that needs some guidance, either mentally or like you need to help them take action, or maybe you need to take some action that helps them be secure and safe. You need to be strong for them. Like you need to find the fortitude for them to get through their circumstance, and maybe find some answers, maybe help guide them through this new energy that's coming down the pike, because we're in a new world. We're never going back to the old world. This is a new world, new energy, and like it doesn't matter who we get in office, it's never going to change. Aw. Three of Swords. Difficult information. Three of Swords to me can be just a difficult time period. It is a 3, so it is more in the lower degrees of things. It's more in the lower part of the the minor arcana. So it is just hearing something that you maybe don't want to hear. It could be some difficult news. It could be worries. It could be worries, especially from somebody who is younger than you, somebody you feel responsible for, somebody you feel like needs your guidance and your help. We have the King of Swords showing up, so I'm happy. So beginning of the week, there could be a big change, and it's something that you have to be strong and help maybe somebody else endure, maybe somebody else get through, maybe somebody else master, find resources. I think by midweek, I think somebody seeks your guidance. Like they're coming to you with their worries, and they're coming to you with their thoughts and their insecurities. And I think you have to be a person that is strong and stable for them to help them get through. I feel like you're just in a very selfless place. We have the Eight of Swords. The Eight of Swords came out of our, I think it was our second pile. So second pile may have something to do with what you guys are doing in the first pile. And then we have the Six of Pentacles. Look at you. Six of Coins. You are helping somebody out. You are there for somebody. You have to maybe help somebody out financially. Maybe you have to loan them money. Maybe you have to help give them money. Maybe you have to help them pay the bills. Maybe it's to help them stay afloat. Maybe you have to find them some resources. I feel like you're going to be very, very important to somebody's life, though, as far as to help them. I'm feeling like you need to, by the end of the week, because we're getting close to Virgo, and as we get into Virgo, we talk about mental, physical well-being, mental worries, anxieties, nervousness. We start to feel like we're scared. We have a lot that we're dealing with, a lot that we're responsible for, a lot that we may not feel like we can actually do for ourselves. Okay, so I'm going to put these over here. Wow, kind of an intense pile, don't you think? Like, what the heck? Well, did you expect anything else out of a death pile? Like, what the hell? Like, if you picked the death pile, like, you were really brave. That's all I gotta say. You're a brave soul. Okay, so you guys have a merry motive. Okay, so this is a brand new deck for me. There's the back of it, and it is the Oracle of the Seven Energies, and we're gonna just read it. It is number 20. Knowing your own motives, understanding what drives you to meet your goals, and the momentum your attention creates, the wisdom behind your intentions. You've chosen the path you've set intention, and you've begun to move toward your goal. You feel compelled to keep going, but do you know the why behind this drive? Do you truly want what you are pursuing, or are you chasing a destination without the anticipation of how it will make others feel about you, or you feel about yourself? You must choose to be in the flow of the experience. Relish in the moment. Surrender your expectations to a higher power rather than being guided by your limited self. The most important aspect to consider now is where you place your focus, because that's where the energy will flow. If you are resentful to the outer world, it will show you more opportunities to be more resentful. If you are envious of others, competitive, and overly ambitious, you always feel as if you're not enough. If you focus on gratitude and compassion for others, then you will see even more reasons to be grateful and loving. When you look for abundance, it has the uncanny way of multiplying itself. So, again, I feel like that card has a lot to do with all this energy that's asking you. We've got this one. I'm sorry. We've had this one, and then we had that one. Trying to get these into focus. So there's this time that you are, because you also have compassion over there, and I'll pull it up. This is one of those times where giving is going to be an energy that you will eventually receive. But at first, I feel like you're in the giving period. You're in the period where I feel like for some of you, I feel like you are having to provide and take care of other people. Let's take a look at this card. We have Source. And this is a new deck for me. It is you can buy this on Etsy, and I'll leave a link, but it is the Illuminated Earth Oracle. It's a new one for me. There is a wellspring of inspiration and knowledge into which we can tap. We may access this source through doing what we love, or by simply looking to nature as a reminder of the origin of all creative energy. Find ways to dip into this limitless place to bring forth all you offer, all you have to offer. Maybe some of you have been through what a loved one or somebody that, this youth, this person right here, it could be a kiddo. It could be somebody less experienced than you. It could be somebody who needs to take some action but doesn't know their direction. But maybe you've been there before, and maybe you have the knowledge to help them surpass this point in their life. And so maybe you're dipping into that time frame in your life where, if you think about this, the new moon that is in Leo, and this exact quincunx with Saturn in Capricorn, this could be a place where somebody else may not have the wisdom to control the outcome, but you do. And the quincunx could just simply be the dipping back mentally into that time frame and showing somebody how to get through it, but it triggers you. But it could also trigger that person to think that they're not in power. So somebody may not be as receptive to your advice as you would like them to be, but you've been through it before, and you're not trying to overpower them. You're just trying to simply give them pearls of wisdom, but their ego may not be taking it all that well. Silence. Ooh, interesting. So you hold the key to helping this person out. Walk through this door. And maybe they're not willing to do it, and maybe you've been through this before, and so maybe some of you may know that it's a time to be silent. They'll come to you when they're ready. That's pretty cool. Tree. Let them go. Oh, I'm having this insane feeling that you are trying to let them experience this for themselves. You may be in turmoil about what this is doing to their lives, and you may be feeling like that you could help them get through it a little easier, but you know that they're probably not going to listen to you. And so, it's a time for them just to let them, live their life their own way, and they'll come to you when they're ready. That's very interesting. Oh, yeah, the oak. Okay. We all know that I'm working on the liminal. I mean, I know what an oak is, and I know that it's actually when we used to burn wood when I lived in the country, the oak burned the longest. So the oak was because we used to clear old growth in our forest, because we lived on 40 acres of farmland, because we grew all of our own food, and then we had 40 acres of old growth. I mean, of like woods. And so we would go in and we would clear out all of the old growth so that the new growth could flourish. Hello, death card. But also, if what we would bring back is only the trees that have fallen. That's how we harvested our forests. But I do know that an oak we would put in all night and it would burn the longest because it was the strongest wood. So I know. I'm a country girl. What can I say, dudes? Walnut's hard too. Okay. Oak. The mighty and tall oak emerges from a tiny acorn. The oak is seen as a symbol of strength, honor, and knowledge, divination, and longevity, and is associated with many deities, including Zeus, Dagda, and Thor, to name just a few. Perhaps it is because of these deities that the oak has a reputation for being prone to lightning strikes. The face of the green man is often made from oak leaves. The oak grows from slow and steady progress, which results in its wood being strong and durable. Stand your ground and be proud. What you are putting your energy and belief into is worthwhile and honorable. Progress may be hard to see in the present, but the future will reveal the significant impact of your efforts. Don't overlook the little details because they seem unimportant or commonplace. Those details could become larger obstacles or issues very quickly. There's a doorway or an opportunity right in front of you and you haven't discovered it yet. So relax. Your mind will allow your vision to blur and it will become apparent. Maybe you're the strong, steady oak in somebody's life, you know? Think of all of these. You have some very fierce cards in here. And so maybe, you know, it could be that a husband and wife team or these parents are nice and solid. But it also could just be that you're very solid and very mentally secure and very strong. You have a lot of fortitude in your mind and you get very fixed and you get things done and you make things happen. But it could be a power couple. It could be a couple that is just very strong and solid for everybody else. A new moon in Leo could be, it has a lot to do with children or child in our life, but this could also have to do with the fortitude and the strength to endure and to keep going and to just slow, steady growth is what I'm seeing as well. Okay, guys. And this is just, you know, I included in this, just, I thought everybody needed a hug. Like, we've had some insane energy. We have the Saturn-Capricorn quincunx at the new moon in Leo. I talk all about it at the beginning of the video and the astrological side of things, but you know, there's a lot trying to take away our power and trying to make us believe that we are not strong enough to endure this and that we don't have the strength and the vitality to endure this transformative time. And you know what? There's a lot of change coming down the pike. If you look at strength, strength is the eighth house is Scorpio. You know, it's the ending, the death of something so that something can be reborn. It's the birth of something. And so I just feel like this is very transformative time for all who are listening to this pile. So the love note from the universe is, the big, huge universe hug is unplug, babes. Unplug. Don't listen to the negativity and the rhetoric and the drama that's out in the world. It will fire you up and it'll make you crazy. So just don't do it. Just unplug and just, you know, there's only so much you can do. I'm feeling a little bit of helplessness here for you, my loves. Like, there's nothing you can do to change anything, and there's a sadness in you can't change things. You're usually strong and you're a fighter, but it's really hard to fight somebody else's battles. And so there's a little message always on the back of these cards. And this one is, recharge your soul batteries by unplugging from the digital world. Connect with yourself by disconnecting from distractions such as other people's to-do lists. Take a stroll. The best way to regenerate fresh and innovative ideas is to balance the vital and the natural worlds. The birds in the trees have just as much to teach you as the internet. So I love that so much. You unplug your cute self. You don't need to get caught up in these ego matches, these ego battles between people, because it is very toxic. It's a very toxic energy for you to absorb. You're very sensitive, you're very compassionate, and you feel things deeply. So don't get caught up in the toxic crap that the world is, because it's so disgusting what's going on, and it's so difficult. A lot of people are having ego disintegration and ego blows, and it's the first time they've learned these types of lessons from Saturn. Like, they've got a calling out to this degree. So you got to be compassionate and let them have that journey. But in the same sense, it's really hard to endure if you're a soul that, you know, is a fixer, is a healer, is somebody who likes to go out there and make sure everything is okay. So, okay. It's like all just falling out. That was just a card box. Maybe some of you need to play games. Okay. I just felt compelled to get a little bit more, so I did. What is this? It's the dragonfly. Shut up. Shut your mouth. So I just stopped the video from pile number 2 and I went to pile number 3. And I saw that we have this beautiful tree that I call my father, and then there's a mother tree, the Empress. I have 2 trees that I'm just really connected to outside my place. And the father tree caught on fire just not that long ago. We had a big fire here. And there was a beautiful dragonfly. You see him? Let me see if I can get it into focus better. There was a beautiful dragonfly in the tree. And then as I was walking a little bit further, my favorite dragonfly is the bright blue ones, and I saw it again. So I definitely feel that this is a time where magic can happen. I feel like dragonflies are magical. Every time I see a dragonfly, I've always, ever since I was a tiny kid, I've connected to them on like a magical level. Like, I feel like they're an omen of extreme blessing coming your way. I am feeling a lot of abundance. You do have a lot of really positive things, and I'm sorry that's out of focus. So we have, what does it say? Pleow. It's a kitty. Oops, I'm sorry. Let me. So I don't look at black cats as being a bad omen. I look at them as being something that was once feared that is no longer feared anymore. And then this is a record player. So I'm feeling like something from the past, something that you used to rehash and used to replay. Oh, I just got it. Here's what I feel like it is. I feel like you used to be one of those fixers, those helpers, those people that go in and save the day. But in this energy, you know, it's that record that plays over and over again, and that lesson that plays over and over again. And, you know, with this Saturn and Capricorn quincunx, it's you having to have the common sense for you to learn that there's nothing you can do to change somebody's story, somebody's destiny. They need to walk their journey by themselves, and you need to enjoy your abundance. And then the canary. The little canary, I think of the song of the canary. People will come to you when they need your soothing song, when they need to be soothed by you. And the yellowness, I think of the yellow of like sunshine in the rain. They'll come to you when they're ready. They may not just be ready when you're ready for them to come to you. And this is just some more of this. Let's see if I can get that in better. Yeah. So this just has a lot to do for me with the North Node that is in a very benefic. It's in Gemini. So think of, for people who are willing, who are ready to go into a new direction and to go north in their lives. This is a very abundant, generous time. For people who are resisting and are relying on the way that things have always been done, or maybe they've gotten away with things for a certain period of time, they're going south. You may be going north because you are actually in tune with the direction that things are going in. Let's make sure that that's in focus. Yes, fearless. There's a lot of bravery in letting somebody go their own path in the salamander too. The fire and the strength and the determination and the ability to take the heat and absorb it and to integrate it, but not let it consume you. You know what I mean? Like, you utilize this fiery period in your life to take the right actions, even if other people aren't doing it. You can't control their world. And then we have the Ace of Swords, or this would be the Ace of the way that I look at this is the Ace of Swords is that ability to just, I don't know, simplify your advice and give good advice. And that's only if somebody comes to you. You're not a culminated, 10 of Swords. 10 of Swords would mean you're going and you're taking care of and you're ending something and you're helping somebody through that. It's like it's the beginning of that energy. So they have to work through this on their own. This cute little, here, let me do this because that's annoying to be out of focus. There you go. These pages are standing out to me brutally. And I feel like my sweeties, my little youth-minded people, they're just going to go through something. And I think that it's going to be difficult for you to just kind of endure and to watch. But again, you have to, when you're a kid and you're young and you're in your 20s or whatever, you have to do things your own way, and you have to learn things your own way to get it through your head. But you're there if they need you. Like, don't worry. Okay. So I feel like we're all done, and let's just go ahead. I don't think I did these yet. Okay. 8. Yeah. Hell yeah. I mean, oh my gosh. Have you guys been dealing with an 8? I mean, we have like 13. We have Scorpio energy. I mean, that's the 8th house. That's death, birth, transformation. That's change. That's intimacy, sexual intimacy. That's sexuality. I mean, there's so many things that go along with 8th house. That's drastic change that never goes back to being the way it was. That's why it's an ending or a beginning. We have the Aries, which is right now in Mars. Can I just warn you guys not to try to overpower somebody, not to try to help somebody through things, not to try to give advice, not to try to be authoritative because you'll be met with a square. Not a good idea. What you want to be is somebody who is a strength for other people, but not somebody who tries to overpower. And if you're squaring somebody, if you're trying to push somebody, they will resist, because this is an ego-based energy. They will resist with all of their might, this energy right now. Oh yeah, Leo, baby. Yeah, this is some intense Leo energy. So you guys are very in tune with the new moon. You guys really get to harness the new moon. And you can't be so consumed with the fact that others may not get to do that. So let me put these guys over here. Here, let me just get this into focus. There we go. Seems to like that candle over there if I... Okay, so let's take a look at the letters. Okay, let's take a look at your words. What's your words, guys? Okay. Hopefully a word just jumps out at me. Yes. Okay. I'm just going off of like, I don't even know if we have enough direction. I was thinking direction. Oh, we don't have an O. We don't even have another N. Like, we don't even have an N. So that's like pure intentions, good intentions. I just saw. Oh, I see this, days. Big cities might be a little more tougher in big cities. It might be, you might see a little bit more of the power and control issues in big cities. Oh, I see this. Like, I'm not sure. Do we have an H? No. Okay. Okay, do we have... I don't have an H. Annette, stop looking for H's and you don't have an H. Dear. Dear who? Maybe some of you want to talk to somebody. Maybe some of you want to write somebody, but give some... I just keep thinking of advice. Just don't do it. It's not actually the best time for good advice. Like, maybe you guys want to reach out to somebody and tell them how much you like them. Maybe somebody reaches out to you and says how much they like you. Oh my gosh, is there a... I don't know if Daryl is a name that you guys are receptive to, but... Oh, I don't have another S, or I would say guess. I am not feeling any words. G, but I don't have an H, so I can't do right. Dare. Ooh, some of you have to make some daring move, or it's maybe somebody makes a daring move on you, like maybe somebody younger. I see like, I keep seeing like somebody likes you, somebody, you like somebody. Okay, don't nobody get all fired up, okay? No rage situations, okay? Just don't get mad at somebody, or don't overpower somebody with an opinion. Like, just because you've been through it and you've lived and learned doesn't mean they're gonna listen to you. Like, don't get caught up in the fact you've learned the lesson but they haven't. Like, that's not your place. And all you can do is offer to give somebody some direction, and if they don't take it, that's totally fine. Oh, somebody's sliding. Maybe somebody's sliding backwards, because I'm seeing... Oh, I thought I saw sliding, but I saw somebody sliding. Like, maybe you're seeing somebody slipping into like some old habits and you're not liking it. Again, it's not your journey. You can't change them. They have to change themselves. Like, don't get caught up in that. Ooh, somebody is a taker, not a giver. Do we have give? I don't have a V, do I? I was going to say, hopefully there's a give and a take, but there's only a taker here, so I don't know. I see gears. And maybe somebody knows how to like manipulate you and how to push your buttons and make you do what you want them to do. You know what I'm saying? Anyhow, guys, thanks so much. Hold on. We've got one more. Almost forgot my numbers. Okay. We have 40. I loved turning 40. I didn't know it at the time, but it was a great year. So 6 and 4, 6 plus 4 is 10. That's a culmination. That's an ending. We've already talked about the fact that we're going through this death period. 4 could be a stability. It's funny that they have 4D and then 4 plus 0 is stability. So you really do take a look when you hit 40. You really do take a look at that time in your life and you reanalyze it and you're like, you know, where did I go wrong? Like, how did I get here? Like, you just take a look at your life on this like stability kind of. An 8 plus 1 is 9. So, or it's just an 8 and a 1. So it could be like, because we've had so much working with 8, but then it could go back to the individual. So some of you may be realizing that the only way that somebody can change is they change themselves. 6 and 3, gosh, another 9. Well, we have a 10 and a 9, but we have a 9 too. 8. Dang, we have 8, we have an 8 and a 1, we have a 9, and we have a 10. So this is like all very culminating, very the end of the, I mean, let somebody go through this. I feel like this isn't your peril. I feel like somebody that you love and care for, you want to help guide them through this time, but it's just, it's not your journey, man. Let them take care of themselves. Anyhow, guys, thank you so much for watching. Crazy week. If you want to know what goes on with the astrology as far as in just kind of like a roundabout view, it's at the beginning. I put a timestamp in, and I just want to say thank you so much for watching. Love to you all, and be the change you want to see in the world. Love you.